If you're an entrepreneur building a personal brand, you've probably been told how important it is to tell stories so that you can connect with your audience. A lot of the ways that people do that is by using vulnerability so that they can create that emotional connection. But did you know that there are two sides to the vulnerability coin? There's vulnerability that can help you create a connection and vulnerability that can actually impede that connection. And today we're going to be talking about that. I'm Lori Reeves, founder and CEO of Brand Strength. I help service-based entrepreneurs build confidence. Confidence that their offering is not only unique but superior and can get better results than anything else out there, and the ability to instill that confidence in their prospective clients. Today I want to talk to you about how vulnerability can either help you create connections with people or it can erode confidence if you use it the wrong way. And I have 3 tips for you to keep in mind so that you can make sure that you're using vulnerability in the best way possible and not damaging your reputation by being vulnerable. The first tip that I have for you is to be aware of the visual imagery that comes to mind when you are sharing your story. Now, sometimes people get so vulnerable that they share exact situations that really don't need to be shared with people about places that they were or, behaviors that they had at rock bottom. And those kinds of sharing, that kind of vulnerability, does not help somebody relate to you. It actually kind of makes them pity you and then question why they're listening to you for the answers that they're looking for. So you definitely don't want to do something, you don't want to say something that's going to make somebody conjure this image in their head that they can never get out, because we know that pictures are worth 1,000 words. And when you use words that are very emotional, that creates an image in your head, and that image is basically just like actually seeing the image. It's not something that you can get rid of. So make sure that you're not including details that would bring up an image that is damaging to your reputation. The second tip is to just tell those stories, but leave out the details that could be damaging. So for instance, if you hit rock bottom, getting to rock bottom and describing how you felt while you were there is one thing, but describing some actions that you took from that place where you were not thinking very well, you weren't thinking clearly, you weren't doing things that were productive, you were actually damaging yourself, that can damage your reputation with others. So if you share those details, then that's going to damage your reputation, whereas if you just share the situation that had happened and how you felt while you were there, that kind of emotional feeling talk can help the people who are listening to your story identify with how you were feeling. They may not identify with the exact situation that you were in, and that's why you can leave out some of the details that just don't need to be shared. But if you can share how you were feeling when you were in that situation, then they can identify with a time in their life, could be right now, that they were feeling the same way. And my third tip for you is to test drive any stories that you're thinking about using that include vulnerability with your audience. So test drive them with somebody who is close to you, who can tell you what kind of visual imagery they had when you were telling the story, let you know if there's anything that kind of leaves a negative taste in their mouth before you go starting to share it far and wide with your audience and seeing that people aren't reacting the way you hoped they would. So make sure you have a few people in your community who you know will give you that truthful feedback so that you can tell them the story that you're thinking about incorporating into your brand messaging, or the stories that you tell about how you got to where you are, and make sure that you're using the exact things that you would say to your audience so they can then tell you truthfully and honestly, I'd leave that part out, or I'd reword this a different way, or whatever that you can do that will make that message powerful and create those connections instead of damaging your reputation or eroding any confidence that your audience may already have placed in you. I hope this was helpful. I know it's really important to be vulnerable so that you can create those connections, because people want to know who you are. If you're building a personal brand, the people who are following you want to have that glimpse into your life. They want to feel like they really know who you are in addition to what you're doing. And so sharing vulnerably can really help you do that. But I want to make sure that you're thinking about it before you do it, and not just running out there and being vulnerable for vulnerability's sake and damaging your reputation. If you like this video, give it a like, subscribe to my channel. I release a video every week to help you build a strong brand. And if you would like to join our Facebook group so that you can be in a community of people who are trying to become the very best versions of themselves and the best in their industry, I'd love for you to join us over there as well. I'll put a link below in the description of this video. I hope to see you in the next video.